Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and Minnesota coach Tim Walz. That's Vice President Kamala Harris's pick for her vice president. Well, he's in a massive fraud scandal to the tune of $250 million. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, please visit that address in the lower right-hand corner. It's youtube.com/@ExplainAmerica. And when you get there, please hit like and subscribe absolutely free. It really helps us out. Tim Walz, Mr. Middle America. I was raised on a farm in a middle-class family on the Okeechobee and on the surface of the moon, wherever story he's telling these days. The guy tells a lie a minute. It's no doubt that, should be no surprise that a compulsive liar could also be involved in fraud. Well, in this case, it's not that he was directly involved in the fraud, but that his negligence allowed the fraud to happen to the tune of $250 million in COVID relief funds that were supposed to be spent on children, but instead had people that were involved in the fund buying mansions and luxury cars. $250 million, folks. $250 million. This is not a small amount of money, and the problem is that you don't have a person who's running for president who's very competent, and it appears you have a person in the vice presidential position on the ticket who's even less competent. And we're supposed to trust these people with our economy? Get out of here. I want you to watch this report on what happened, and let me know what you think in the comments.
At the Minnesota State Fair, every spin of the wheel at the Never Walz booth is a loser for the Democratic governor.
I never want to see that man in office.
It's not just partisan wedge issues driving Republican disdain for Tim Walz. Step around the corner to the Minnesota Republican Party booth.
It's all about national politics at the booth.
Republican State Senator Mark Curran, like the rest of the country, is eyeing the presidential election, but with the Minnesota governor in his sights.
I think Governor Walz, if you want to talk about accountability, has taken no accountability.
Curran says while national voters may just be learning about Coach Walz and his affection for football and home improvement, here in Minnesota, the news has been more critical, especially around the way Walz's administration handled financial scandals. At least 16 reports critical of specific state agencies for allowing alleged fraud, waste, or mismanagement during Walz's 6 years as governor have been published by Minnesota's independent auditor.
He is the executive body in charge, right? And can you blame him individually for each individual thing? No, but he took absolutely no action to change the outcome. There was nobody that was terminated because of the failures of those agencies.
Lisa Damath is a Republican minority leader in the Minnesota State Legislature.
We have an issue of fraud here in the state of Minnesota, that we have $500 million in known fraud under Governor Walz's time in office.
And you're talking about feeding our future.
That's one of them, yeah.
Feeding Our Future, a program overseen by Minnesota's Department of Education, was the single largest COVID-19 fraud scheme in the nation, according to the Department of Justice. Nearly $250 million in federal tax dollars was supposed to go to feeding children in need. Instead, dozens of people involved in the scheme stole the money, buying houses, luxury cars, and a suburban bar and restaurant, according to a federal indictment. At the time, Governor Walz defended his administration.
We caught this fraud. We caught it very early. We alerted the right people.
This past June, the state legislative auditor's investigation found that the Minnesota Department of Education's actions and inactions created opportunities for fraud, failed to act on warning signs, and did not effectively exercise its authority to hold Feeding Our Future accountable.
Is that fraud the governor's fault?
When he is not holding any commissioners responsible, then yes, Governor Walz is responsible for the fraud that has been ongoing in the state of Minnesota. By not making any changes within his administration, then yes, it falls squarely on his shoulders.